and there's the finished result. Just amazing. And it's not a fluke, you know. I mean, if you look at all her, uh, like this one is amazing. You look at the final product and you think, wow, that is like a photograph. That's AI, and nobody can do watercolor like that for a portrait. And yet, if you see her do it, you see how see she's painting around the edges of that cowl or that hoodie that the model's wearing. See all those rough edges? And then she's putting in little patterns there. And then she just knows how to work that so that it really looks photographic. That's amazing to me. And the way she can, you know, if you don't get the watercolor on at the right time or the paper's not wet enough, there's all this bloom that happens when you put down new strokes. Look how good that hair looks. It's amazing. You know, and so like she must re-wet uh, the back of the hoodie to make it blend into the background. There's that hairy brush that she's doing little, uh, she gets it dry and then does little, you know, dry brush. And it's just incredible. That's an amazing portrait. And she just makes it look so easy. It's incredible. So if we look at some, like this old man here, that's a great picture. Look at the background looks so fresh, so wet on wet. And then you see his wispy hairs around his ears and that cigarette. And look at the light coming on his face. All the wrinkles in his face look really almost as if they were painted with oil paint. And again, you can see how rough it gets around the shoulders because that's the least important part. So if you look at her, if you look at this process, you can see how she goes about it. And this is, you know, the actual painting. It's slow going because we're seeing it sped up, but it's taking her a while. And you can see how she works darker and darker. And when she goes across here, yeah, she goes across the bridge of the nose with this dark color. And I think, oh no, she's ruining it. But no, watercolor for some reason always dries lighter than when you put it on. So you put it on dark, and when it dries, it lightens up. So see how it lightened up over the bridge of his nose? That's just amazing. And then she puts that green on under his nose, and then you can see it there. It's like a reflected light on the bottom of his nose. How she gets all those little hairs, you know, I think, well, there you can see her, you know, trying to get the rough edges in there. Awesome. Just awesome work. So again, like I said, this is the test of a watercolor artist if they can do portraits. Now she also does landscapes. Actually, this is student work. So she has students, all right? She's young, but she has students. Or maybe this is her when she was a student, she did these. I think that's the case, student work. This is her student work, doing landscapes. But her real passion is doing portraits. Yeah, these are some of probably when she was a student. Boy, that almost looks like AI right there. Look how clear and clean that face is. Hard to believe that that's done in watercolor, and done in such a loose way of working. You know, again, here you see the way she does it, and it's just so wow. How does she do that? Look how she finishes the hair off first. You know, all the little wisps of hair are put in right away. Yeah, it's magic. So it's a mastery of knowing how much pigment's on your brush, and so you can paint dry or you can paint wet. But the uh, finished result actually shows the paper texture coming through the transparent watercolors. So if you saw this painting in person, it'd just really be amazing because you'd be looking right through the paint to the paper. So let's go back here and just roll down to her. This is her on Instagram. Now again, she's in Korea. I think this is a self-portrait here. Is this a self-portrait? I think it might be. Yeah, of the artist. Let's see. Maybe this is her. Yeah. This is a nice demo right here. I like this one. See, this is the finished painting. Look how nice and fresh this looks. Look at the hair, the back of the head, just really wet in wet. It just looks so fresh. And then you have the blurry brush strokes here on her clothing. She looks like she has a scarf on and a vest. And then she's got this great purple headband. But the light on her face is so realistic, and it just like looks like a photo. And yet she leaves the background. She leaves bare patches of paper showing through just to keep it rough. Keep it rough in some places, but make it accurate and precise. So, um, so let's look at her paint that one. This is a here's a little music in the background. Look how dark she did those eyes. There you go. All right. So, she's been she used to do like if we scroll down here, I think she did celebrities, but she's been doing yeah, she's been doing portraits for a long time. If I click on her very first post here, this is 2015. But this is an acrylic painting. That's not a photo. So she's really crazy about detail. Oh my God, in acrylic, this looks like a photograph. Look at the eyebrows. Look at the texture inside this collar. People responded here in the responses. A lot of people said, this is not a painting. This is a photo. But at the top it says, this is an acrylic painting. So they don't believe her. They don't believe this is a painting, but it is. Yeah, but so this tells you how much attention to detail she has when she wants to control. And acrylic, again, you can paint over and you can be very meticulous. And she probably used a tiny little brush. But I like that she started out that way and then got very loose. You know, and some of the loosest paintings are the most interesting to me. So like this one, you have the tight detail in the hair, but then you have it just falls back into water. Look at the hat, the brim, the far side of the brim is just engulfed in liquid fog, and the back of the jacket just it just disappears into the background. That's great when you can do that, and yet have some parts that are really in sharp focus. There's a couple in here that I saw done that really amazed me, and she'll do caricatures. She'll do, famous people in Korea. This guy's probably part of a student, part of a rock group, a boy band, right? she's she's in the boy band, but she also does like senior citizens here. So like this guy, this is a great painting. I love the way she did the bottle and the label on the bottle, and look at the hands, and look at the wrinkles on this person's neck. Really good, really good. And yet the hoodie that he's wearing is really rough and looks watercolory. So if you look at the way she did it, you can look at it here. And it'd be interesting to see how she sketches out the drawing on the paper before she, um, I'm wondering if she projects the photo onto the paper I think she must, because it's, perfectly in sync with her reference photo, probably. But look at that. So all of a sudden, all these wrinkles appear. Look at that. Wow. And then, how loosely and quickly she can do the clothing. It's just amazing. The brushes they use in Asia to do painting like this are really different than what a European or trained or American watercolorist would use. We use like round brushes or squared off brushes, but they use these brushes that hold more water, like sumi brushes, and then they have ragged edges. They're not made out of, premium fox fur, you know, uh, I think the Winsor Newton brushes that are the best brushes you can get for American watercolor or British watercolor. They're made with really rare red fox fur, and yet the brush she's using here is probably horsehair or something like that. Some cheaper thing, and these brushes don't cost a lot. And look what she can do with them. So it isn't the brush. Yeah, Dragonate says brush is made from the fur of the finest African unicorn. Sometimes, if the tip of the brush is ragged and used, you almost get better results, especially if you're doing the hair like this at the end. Anyway, so this is missile blue here, and really amazing. You, yeah, she's from Korea. 65,000 followers on Instagram. She knows what she's doing. And then she has a YouTube account. So you can watch her do these paintings at actual speed. So if you like this one we just looked at first, this one.
The body scanner reveals the
Let's get past this ad here.
scale will never tell you.
Hold on. Skip. Okay, so here you can see it at actual speed here. So this takes a half hour. So if we were to go in here, like say, you get to see her speed. And so still she's editing this. Let me turn this music down a little bit. Yeah. She's edited this because obviously she's got to go over and load her brush with paint and then come back and paint it. So she's taking all that video out of it. But you can see her process a lot more clearly. She's very deliberate, and yet this doesn't seem to be worried at all that she's not going to be able to go back in and make this thing look perfect and get the right value. She's willing to go back in and put more paint on top of paint. A lot of times, if you don't do it at the right time, you get this unwanted, erratic edges called bloom, and it kind of ruins your painting. But she's not worried about that. She knows how to get some clean water and wet the paper so that when she puts her next stroke on it, it'll just bleed right into where she wants it to be. See, now the skin tone that she's already done is not dark enough. She's going to go back in there and put some more paint in there. So what's different about this from other artists is that she wants to finish a section before going on to another section. She gets pretty, except for the skin tones. There she wants to get it perfect, but when it comes to the accessories like a turban or a jacket or something like that, she wants to get it pretty much the first time. And the hair as well. She always seems to do the hair just the way she needs it. I'm going to jump ahead just so you can see what it looks like a little further on. Look at that. She's doing the creases on the lips here, on the nostrils. Yeah, so I think you learn a lot more if you watch her process in real time like this. And you see how versatile her brush is. Just incredible. She just keeps using the same brush. And she's not using white paint. That's sort of like cheating. You have to use, if you want something to be white, you either have to not put any liquid on it, on the paper, or you have to preserve it with some sort of a gummy substance that can be rubbed off so the water never reaches the paper. And that way you can get a really sharp line. A lot of watercolor artists will paint the rubber cement or whatever it is on first, um, to preserve the highlights, like the glint in the eye and things like that. So here we're going further towards the end. Yeah. So this probably took a couple hours to paint this, and she condensed it to a half hour here for YouTube. But then she condensed it to like 60 seconds for Instagram. That's interesting. All right, so let's stop this. So that's Missile Blue, amazing artist. Okay, so now we have a different artist, and he's got a Chinese name. It's Jian Changwei. Although I don't think he's in China because of what he says here on the 6 ways to pursue your art with purpose. Look at this. Okay, he's more of a landscape painter. It's got wisdom from watercolor master Chen Changwei, and he says, here he is on the right there. He says, stop searching for a style. I'm not so much developing a style, but rather constantly exploring and seeking the essence of painting or of watercolor, and the ways to express the essence more beautifully, more loftily, and with more meaning and value. On watercolor, paper, or canvas, I create the ideal, perfect, and intriguing image in my mind. No need to seek out my own style anywhere because I am style. He says you just do what you do and the style comes right out of you. It's not something you have to work on. And then he says, return to simplicity. I choose subjects from daily life, set up a clean composition, and try to get back to the original state of simple watercolor. I never knew that the past 20 years were just a detour, and it is not until now that I'm really getting to know what transparent watercolor painting is. So it makes it sound like he's always exploring, and he's just coming to new wisdom and new knowledge about what his medium is and the way it should be done. His work is a lot of dry brush on paper and then beautiful colors. The guy's a master colorist, as you'll see. Here he says, connect with your subject. The only thing I adore, being passionate about, and having full confidence in is the expressive form of painting in extracting the beauty and intrigue of form from nature with various painting media. That's what keeps him going. And then he says, make peace with the process. That's true. Interestingly, every time I'm in the middle of working on a painting, I feel so convinced that I am a rare genius. However, when I finish the work, the defiant and agitated confidence is completely lost because of the flaws that have gradually accumulated during the painting process. We don't see them, but he sees them. He knows them. He knows where he's failed. And that is the moment I feel the pain of aiming higher than I can achieve. On the other hand, this is the kind of pain that keeps me constantly improving myself and striving to create masterpieces of immortal value. So he has a goal. Yeah, he has a goal. So then here, be honest in your art. Art is not abstruse at all. I paint what I really want to paint. I do not fool others or myself, and I do not aim too high than I can achieve. I ask myself to widen my horizons and strive for excellence. This is my way of pursuing art. You know, this doesn't just relate to painting. This could relate to creating a better prompt for an AI image that you're working on or trying to get out of some app. This is the way of all artists, whether they be musicians or sculptors. They're always trying to get better or to do something better. And then he says, never stop seeking. I just want to speak the truth and paint with sincerity. That's it. Thank God for making me meet such an amazing painting medium like watercolor. He's thanking God. That's what makes me think that he's not in China. Okay. I will definitely make every effort to create immortal masterpieces until I die. This journey of painting has just begun. Yeah, if he was in China, he would say, "Thank you for the party, for making me meet such an amazing painting medium." So that's his six secrets to painting. I like that. Okay, so let's look at some of his painting. He does portraits and he does really exquisite drawings, but it's the watercolor landscapes that I like. Look how beautiful this sky is, and he's a master of leaving a little bit of dry paint to indicate a light. So look at all the glimmers of the sea and the city below and the little lights. Um, yeah, this is really amazing. I love and look at it basically just has two colors here. It's blue and gold, right? It's just blue and gold. Okay, let's look at another. This one's good because you'll get to see some of his work style here. This this looks like the movie Bambi, right? You got there's Bambi's father with the big rack of antlers in the distance there. It looks like a scene from a background scene from an animated film. Um, and then he's got I think he also shows this he walks through this more slowly, I think. Is it this one? Let's try this one. No. There's one where he talks. How about this one?
Leave out different sizes of highlights or paint over some of them. Don't mindlessly repeat the same treatment. Try to make things more interesting. So this demo video, I try to preserve all of it. From beginning to the end, I didn't edit out anything. I hope you can paint along. And paint your own version at home. You can pause the video if you need to. I believe after you finish this painting, you will be much more experienced with masking fluid. You will also have a good grasp on the whole painting process. You can form a good plan for your paintings and paint with purpose. Have more varieties. Leave out different sizes of highlights or paint over some of them. Don't mindlessly repeat the same treatment. Try to make things more interesting. So this demo video, I try to preserve all of it. From beginning to the end.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to show you some more images that I really love the color. This guy's really good at color and keeping the image looking fresh. I want to say hi to Jose Cabrera. He's here, and Grafcal's here, and Trislet. Thank you for coming. So check out these colors. Oh my God, that's so beautiful. The clouds are so misty and just moving into the background so easily. And these greens of the hill, they're so muted. It's on this shadow side of the hill. There's no direct sunlight here except up on that house, getting a little bit of sun from the other side of the hill. And then this one's beautiful. Look at that orange sunset that's happening in the distance. He just barely indicates people, the shapes and the colors are really interesting. Same here.
The art world fell in love with Chen Chengwei's breathtaking paintings when they discovered them. His masterful ability soon became well known. Artists everywhere wanted to know his secrets. And in this inspiring instructional video, Painting Nature in Watercolor, Chen will show you exactly how he paints his masterpiece, Listen to the Wind. Follow along with Chen.
Yeah, so he has a lot of demos that he sells. He makes DVDs of classes, shows you how he does it. Um, Look at this one. Beautiful colors. I mean, just that really, you feel like you're creating the mood here. Not a lot of artists like this or painters like this would do a scene after the sun has set. You know, this is the twilight zone here. this is probably, you know, after the sun goes down and everything's in shadows, and the colors are more subtle. And he's got this little door here on the right hand side that there's some strong light coming out of that doorway. What else has he got here? Oh, these are his sketches he's really meticulous with his sketches, and yet the watercolor paintings are really loose. It doesn't look like he labored over them. And here's a photo of his inspiration. So he probably took this photo on a trip, and he said, you know, that's a really neat house that's built into the rock side there, the cliff. I should paint that sometime. But notice how he changed the time of day. I'm glad he did. So. That's a nice one too. Look, beautiful colors. And look at the texture of this wall. This looks like it could be in Israel somewhere. Just really sun-baked cement wall, or a stone wall maybe with plaster. He does some. He knows a little bit of English, so, and he gives these classes, right? And he likes rock music, so there's a soundtrack here, and while he paints, he's singing along to Jim Morrison of The Doors. Watch this. That cracks me up. Also, he animated this one. I mean, that's the picture, and then he did the sketch, and then he's got a little dog. That little dog down there, and I don't know how he did it, but how can I get off this here? I'm stuck. This is stuck. Oh, I gotta go here.
X in the top right corner.
X.
Not the browser, but yeah, that one.
It's not working. It's not working. I'm froze.
Try hitting escape. The escape key.
Escape key. Okay. Does that work now? No. Okay, so I'm gonna just hit the X. Oh man, my whole thing. It's like Brave froze. So what am I gonna do here? I can't even switch tabs. See, I can't even switch tabs. Let me switch to a different input device. Here, let's see if this works. And if it doesn't, you know what I'll do? I only have one window open, so I could do this. I could go to Option Task Manager in Windows, and I can select Brave and force it to close. Let's see if I can do that. Did it close? It did. All right, now let's click on Brave, and it's opening. And now I got to reshare the screen.
If you press while in Brave, Control-Shift-T,
Yeah.
it will open up all of those tabs again.
Yeah, well, it did open all the tabs. Yeah, it did. Where I gotta get to the, no, that's not it. No, stop. That's not it. Okay, so I was there. No, okay. Well, anyway, I'm done with Chen Chung Wei. It's time to move on anyway, so maybe I'll come back to him. I don't know if, let's see, here is Missile Blue. So where did Chen, it's almost like that that tab closed. So what I might do is go get my link to Chen Chung Wei, and I can put that link in the search or in the address bar, and I'll get back to his page. Here I am. Okay, so now I can scroll down and look for that animation that I wanted to show you, where he animated one of his watercolors, which is really cool. I thought, how did he do that? Is this it? No, this isn't it. It's the painting, but it's not the animation. And I think he did it afterwards. So I should look up, going up. How about here? Is this it? No. Am I sharing my screen? Yes, you're seeing my screen. Um, where is it? I'm disappointed because I really wanted to show you that. It was really cute. Um, so I don't. Another reason I don't think he's in China is because like this. So he did this watercolor self-portrait. There's a self-portrait, and he submitted it to the National Portrait and Figurative Artists Conference. I think it's in New York City or it's in London. Anyway, he won an award. He was selected as a finalist. The Portrait Society of America. It's exhibited in Washington, D.C. So that's pretty cool that he got his self-portrait in there. Maybe this is it. No? That's the scene. That's the scene I want to show you, but there's a really cool animation that goes with it. Oh, where is it? Yeah, I don't see it. Anyway, I like this artist, but maybe we should switch to another artist that has some amazing. Well, he's not as skilled a painter or as experienced a painter as these first two artists that I've showed you. He's an American. He's a young guy, but there's nobody better, in my estimation, than this artist in terms of self-promotion. And you're going to see what I mean when I say self-promotion, because you struggle as an artist. You say, how can I get more followers? How can people see what I do? So, and this guy took a risk because he's a conservative and he's Christian and he paints conservative Christian paintings. And so sometimes he'll paint is this it? Oh, here it is. See the dog? Look at the dog. He's walking through the painting. That's so cool. He must have done that in After Effects, where he isolated the dog and put him in there. That's cute. All right, so we're gonna close this up. And so this artist I'm talking about, his name is Sam Ryan, and he paints political figures. Like he painted when Trump was shot in Butler Township, he painted something. He painted this painting, oh, I don't know where it is right now. Well, he painted, yeah, here it is. So he painted this and Trump collected it. Let's listen to it. So he knows how to get noticed. Okay. Okay, so he did the painting. He went on he went on X and he tagged Trump and he tagged some other famous people like maybe Elon or JD Vance, and Trump ended up buying his painting. So that's amazing. But when he showed this painting of the assassination attempt from Butler, and he showed it on X, he lost 45,000 followers. So the other day when I think it was Saturday, I discovered this guy as I was scrolling through X. And I went up to the top of his feed here and I looked at how many followers he had. And he said he had lost, a number of followers. I think on Saturday he had 33,000 followers. Today he has 117,000 followers. That's almost 3 times as many followers just between Saturday and today, Monday. So how did he do that? I'll show you how he did it. So here's what he did. He started this painting. So let's look at this.
Do something productive with your life. You are commanded to go do something productive with your life. Wow. to go give and to produce and to risk and to then go sow into other people. That is a biblical idea that has made the world a profoundly better place.
It's been a long day.
You are commanded to
Okay, I'm
do
going to stop
something
this. So he did this. Let me just stop the sound here and you can watch it again. He did this painting in 12 hours overnight. He stayed up all night and did this painting. And then he made sure that certain people on X saw it. So he tagged Trump and JD Vance and Elon. He said, how can I get this to Turning Point USA? How can I get this to Charlie Kirk's family? I want to donate this painting to Charlie Kirk's family. So somebody contacted him because in the very next video that he posted, look at this. So let's listen to it. Okay, so there's no sound here. He's taking the painting off the stretcher bars and he's rolling it up. He wrote something on the back. Here he's packed it up and he's going to send it out to Turning Point USA. All right. So some of you may know, or some of you don't know, there was a big event in Arizona on Sunday, and that was the Charlie Kirk Memorial, and it was held in the football stadium in Arizona, the biggest one. It holds 70,000 people, so it's a huge football stadium and indoor stadium, and well, let me just show you a portion of this. So, like, this is when his painting was unveiled on stage. Now, consider this: there's 100 million people all over the world watching via either TV or live streaming on YouTube or X, or it was live. It was also on a lot of TV channels. So here it is. And here we are at 2 hours and 21 minutes into the event, and they had the bagpipes playing Amazing Grace on the stage. And this is the end of their song, just as they're getting ready to walk off the stage. Now, see, watch what happens. Well, that's pretty amazing placement of his painting in the middle of this event, this worldwide event. The president, the vice president, all his cabinet, many Congress people, a lot of VIPs in that audience, and here they are focusing on his artwork just because he had the initiative to paint that overnight and to offer it to the family as a tribute. So I think that's an amazing self-promotion. It's a nice, well, it's a very nice and sweet gesture, but it's also he's not blind to the fact that it's an amazing publicity generating thing at the same time, and I'm sure it greatly increases the value of his paintings. This, whatever you might think of his painting style. And if we look on X and we go down and look at some of his other paintings, here's a religious themed painting, and this is pretty nice too. I guess what I have to do is get this link because the video is too small here on the screen. I want to make it bigger. So let me get a new tab and put this in. No, it's still small. Well, you can see here he is painting.
Open up the door, can you?
Okay, so that's on Instagram. He has 2 accounts. He has he's on X, but he's also got an Instagram. And the Instagram one won't go big, but I want to show you the bigger one on X. X, I can go full screen. Here, let's see this. No, I guess that it's just taking me to Instagram when I click on that X link. So that's not going to work. Yeah, that's too bad. No, still the same link. Anyway, I like how he starts his paintings. Yeah, this one is the one that I was thinking of. Here.
And I really resonated with this.
This is a Christ with his apostles in a storm.
For you guys.
A pretty dynamic painting. I love the
What you're about to see is my depiction of what I think is one of the most historically significant stories. And I really resonated with this story over the past couple months, so I needed to get it out there on canvas for you guys.
look at the composition. It's like a Z. See the Z? There's zigzags through this. It's really dynamic.
What you're about to see is my depiction.
Yeah. So this guy's pretty savvy. You know, he's always dropping, thinking about what can I do. You know, he's appealing to a conservative Christian audience, but he's also thinking about what can I do to make this more viral? How can I get more followers? And so that's how you go from 33,000 to 117,000 in 2 days. And plus, as more and more people think about what they saw over the weekend, just yesterday, he'll be at 200,000 probably tomorrow. So that's pretty amazing. The guy looks pretty young. So you can see most of his pieces are religious. Yeah. All right. So that's Samurai in Studio. And I didn't really go into too much depth because I just discovered him this weekend about looking at his artwork. It's almost like abstract expressionism, the way he's dripping paint and making everything slapdash. And yet he's got the values correct. He's got the lights and darks where they need to be. And so that style of painting where you just throw it on and let it drip, that appeals to a lot of people. Hey, Felons, good to see you here. Felons, check out this. I used your music in today's NFT RAR that I'm giving away. Yeah, just wanted you to hear that. You'll be seeing those in your wallets later tonight when I upload them or mint them. Actually, that's what I'll do. All right. So yeah, and thank you for the music, Felons. Appreciate that. All right. So that's where we were. Let's close that out. And I'm just scrolling down here to see if there's any more I want to see. But here he's got the bull market piece here that's called The Optimist. And yeah, just looking to try to see what he does here. This is a Joe Rogan painting. Is that what that is? Yeah, the Joe Rogan experience. So he's trying to piggyback off of famous people sometimes. Uh, so like I'm sure he tagged Joe Rogan. Sure he did right here. Joe tagged Joe Rogan right here. Um, if your life was a movie, this is one of Rogan's quotes. If your life was a movie and it started now, what would be the hero of your life's movie? What would the hero of your life's movie do right now? And then do that. So he says, I'm chasing hard my freedom to live out my passion, choosing to be inspired, being the hero of my own movie. Pretty serious young man. He looks like he looks like he's 25 or 26. Uh, and again, he's got that drippy style, but it's very energetic. He captures Joe Rogan's likeness, and probably tried to sell that to Joe Rogan, which is audacious. It's good to be audacious if you're an artist. It's a good way to stay with a roof over your head. Let's put it that way. All right. So what else did I want to show you? Yeah, there's some other stuff I wanted to show you. Not that. We looked at that. Okay, this isn't one of the three artists I wanted to show you, but it just intrigued me so much that I had to show you. This is a photographer, and what he does is he does iris photography. He captures the unique beauty of your eyes, turning your iris into stunning art pieces. So these look like mandalas. They look like spherical art. When you see them up close, let's take a look at some of these. They're awesome. Look at like these are like fingerprints, right? There's a reason the FBI or other big governments want to have your eye scan. It's because there's no two of them are alike. Look at all these little hairs in there. And so if you come to his studio, he has you sit down like at an optometrist studio, and he takes a photograph of your iris, and then he silhouettes it or puts it on dark, or maybe something like this where he takes two people's irises and then has them coming together in sort of a collision. That would be like a couple, right? And I don't know what these are. Yeah, but look at this. Now, yeah, and here you can see his studio. And these look like golden records, don't they? They look like golden records, but they're really interesting. I think it would be a cool gift, or I don't see how these could be NFTs because they're just, well, I guess they could be. Yeah, they could be. Yeah, you could buy your own NFT eye, and that could be your avatar, I guess, right? Yeah, oh, there's the process. Shot in minutes, made to last forever. Boy, I don't know if I want that much light going into my eye. Maybe it's only for a split second, but that's pretty neat. And then he prints it out. Each piece is printed right there and framed. So that's really cool. Now, as I was thumbing through these things, I saw that some of them are really strange. Like, look at that one. So that's like a mixed color. This is a blue-eyed, brown-eyed girl, right? I didn't know irises could be so strange. Look at that with the dots, with the brown dots. What causes that? Is that rust? is that some old guy you actually end up with rust in your eye? Was he a metal worker when he was working? I don't know. Um, Felons, you say actual use my eye to press records with NFT, NFC chips, fidgetals. Yeah. Well, that's the ultimate pass, is now look at this one. He's got a divot in his iris. See that over there on the left-hand side? That's such a unique marker. Of course, there could be no two are alike. But when I go to the optometrist and they put a drop in my eye, and then my iris, the black hole in the center here gets really big, and the iris gets really squished, so it's just a rim on a black hole. Obviously, these people haven't gotten those drops in their eyes to open up their retina. Oh, that's a neat one. That's a really cool one. This one has strong, like tree branches in it. See that? This one looks like water that's coming up on the beach, that's lapping up on your feet in a circular. And this one looks like Mars. It's a desert. There's the angry red planet right there. That's incredible. And here's the Dalmatian. So it's like amazing to me that these eyes, I just came across this and I just thought I'd show it to you. It's not, I don't know, I guess it could be NFTs, but he really just wants to photograph people's eyes and make a business out of it. It's a smart idea. I don't know anybody else doing it. Maybe it is a thing. So I guess that's it. That's pretty much it for the show. Let's see. Yeah, so for those of you who came late, we played some really good intro music. This was Tom McDonald, and he's got a Charlie tribute, but I liked The Man in the Sky, really good song, The Man in the Sky. And on the way out, I'm going to play this one. It's just very popular, one of his most popular songs called The System. It's sort of a rap about how screwed up our modern system of society is. So you might want to listen to the lyrics as we go out. And ooh, Felons, you dropped a really cool GIF there. Yeah, Big Brother's watching you. So let's see here. Let me get back into the stage if I can. Yeah, so open stage. All right, so some of you are invited to speak. Felons, you can speak if you want. Charlotte, you can speak. And Trislet, if you guys want to speak. Joseph, Jose, you're all invited. Graph Cow.
It's always great to listen to you. It's very cool.
Hey, it's good to hear from you, Jose. I hear a bird in the background. Do you have a bird?
It might be. Yeah, I have a couple birds on the ponds nearby. Maybe
Oh,
that is a falcon.
a falcon. Wow. That's
Yes.
an amazing bird to have around. That's the kind that you have to wear a glove on your arm when it sits there with its talons, with its claws.
Yeah, I think that was one of those. We also have many macaws, but I think that is the falcon sound. They usually are not that friendly. They are just hanging around in the trees. As I say, I always enjoy to listen to your space. It makes me to appreciate and grab more eye into what art curation is for real, like
Oh
appreciating
yeah,
art. So yeah,
yeah.
thank you so much for this.
Well, that's what I like to do is appreciate art. I've always been an art appreciator because I wanted to do art, and I thought, well, if I look at other people's art, I could see what I like about it and then try to incorporate some element of it. So if I go to the museum or I go to the art gallery, I'm the guy who gets up really close to the painting and looks at all the details. Sometimes you're in the way if you do that. And I went to in New York City, I went to the Metropolitan Museum of Art. And when I walked in there, it was winter. And they had a place where you could check your coat if you had a big coat. And I noticed when I went in there to check my coat that they had 100 wheelchairs sitting there that nobody was using. So I thought, oh, it would be nice to go around the gallery in a wheelchair because my legs get tired sometimes. So I got a wheelchair and I sat down in it and I wheeled myself over to a painting where people were standing around the painting looking at it. And when they saw me wheel up, I was a what do they call it? I was an imposter. I was what do they call
Yeah,
it? I
I
was
did that.
I was I was assuming somebody else's disability for my own purposes, which is unethical, I guess. So, but what happened is they saw me approaching the painting and they all moved out of the way so I could wheel myself up close and look. And then And then of course, I'm silly. So what I do is I put my hands on the handrest and I tremble and I try to stand to get closer to the pain. And it becomes a dramatic scene, you know. But that's what I did it with.
Miracles in art.
Yes, I did it with my girlfriend one time. We went into there, and I said, "Let's get the wheelchair, and I'll wheel you around halfway, and then you wheel me around." So we got in the elevator, and when you see a couple with one in the wheelchair and the other one not, you look at them and you think, "I wonder what their life is like." She has to push him around, and so then when we got back in the elevator, I was pushing her around, and the guy was looking at me, the attendant.
That is performance art right there.
Because we switched. Yeah, we switched. So, yeah.
100%.
Say that again?
That is definitely well called, Jose. Performance art. I love it.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I used to do stupid stuff. I'll tell you another stupid thing I did in New York City. They have a reservoir in the middle of Central Park. If you see a photograph of Central Park, then you see that there's a pond or a lake in the middle, and that's like an emergency reservoir. And you can't tell, but it's actually two reservoirs that have a wall between them, and the wall separates the two sides so they could drain half of the reservoir. And the wall, the surface, the top of the wall is made out of stone, and it's like it's as wide as maybe 6 or 7 feet. So and it's just below the surface of the water. So when you look at it, you can't see it because the lake reflects the sky. But I knew it was there. And one night I climbed over the fence and it had a little bit of barbed wire, and I was able to get over that. And I went out there and I walked into the middle in about a couple inches of water. I walked out into the middle of the lake and lay down because it was hot. And there I was in the middle of New York City with all the skyline all lit up around me. When I tell people that, they say, "Well, you ruined our water supply." No, it was emergency supply. They never use it. But I thought it would be cool maybe on Easter Sunday to have somebody dressed up as Christ walking on the water, because most people don't know the wall is there. So you'd see this robed figure out in the middle of the lake standing. That would be cool. Yeah, that would be cool. So at any rate, let's listen to the system as I go out, and I appreciate you all coming, and make sure that you all get this NFT that I made. All right, so I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Woo!
Yeah, so let's listen to the system. Here we go.
Welcome to the world, baby boy. I'll paint you red and white and blue. The indoctrination starts as soon as you come out the womb. Pretty quick, we'll make you stupid with curriculums at school. And if the classroom doesn't do the trick, we'll make you watch the news. Pick your team, right or left, take the red pill or the blue. You can vote, but even if you win, still everyone will lose. Don't forget to buy designer because Gucci makes you cool. We prioritize material belongings over truth. Get a job that you can't stand so you can buy some cans of food. Go overseas and die for freedom. There's some oil we can use. Our democracy exists so that you think that you can choose. But our algorithms make you do what we want you to do. What's the problem? Your depressed society has you confused. We got medication for you that you'll probably abuse. Go get married to a lady who also don't have a clue, and pump out a few babies that are just the same as you. Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong. Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong. Welcome to the world, baby girl. I'll paint you pink if that's okay. We'll encourage self-destruction through the music that you play. We divided out of men by trying politics and race, and honestly, it's working awesome, so for you, we'll do the same. Never teaching you to love yourself, inject you full of hate. Objectify your sexuality, then blame you for the rape. And weaponize the differences that make our men and women great. Then just to screw with you, erase the genders. Everyone's the same. We'll empower you with rights to vote and fight for equal pay. Then have the men turn into women and you'll fight for them again. But you thought you had it figured out, but everything has changed. Welcome to the system, bitch. Please enjoy your stay. Here's a Bible and a bottle of the cheapest booze we make. Find a man who can take care of you to fill the holes we made. Buy a house and settle down, fulfill your duty, procreate, and make a couple babies who will also do the same. Welcome to the system, everyone. everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong. Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong. Welcome to the world, everybody. I'ma paint you black and white. I'ma make you hate each other so that everyone will fight. I'ma give you our religion, let the righteous find the light. But I will also give you science to oppose the word of Christ. And I'ma give you borders, they're imaginary lines. If you cross them, go to war and win when everybody dies. And I'ma give you money that you'll value more than life. And let the 1% have everything while you fight to survive. And then I'll give you politics, I'll call it left and right. And while you divide yourselves, I will conquer both the sides. Can't you see? I'm the system, my whole purpose is divide. What you choose will never matter because everything is mine. Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong. Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong. Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong.